And he is the #1 person on this earth who has basically scanned brains. I could tell his stories. He'll tell it to you. It's really dynamic.
Isn't that crazy? Because you can't see it. You can see the wrinkles on your skin or the fat around your belly, and you can do something when you're unhappy with it. But because virtually no one ever looks at their brain, no one knows that it could be in trouble. Let's just be really honest with each other. You're in a war for the health of your brain. Everywhere you go, someone is trying to make money by enticing you with bad food that will kill you early. But what you don't know is that you have 100 trillion bugs in your intestinal tract, and they're your friends. They're making neurotransmitters that help your brain work. They help you digest your food. So when you eat pesticide-laden foods, it's killing the good bugs in your body. That's why you don't want foods with pesticides. Attention span is now 8 seconds, where a goldfish has a attention span of 9 seconds. Turn it off. You won't be able to think. You're in a war for the health of your brain and your body. Alzheimer's disease is expected to quadruple by 2050, and there's no cure for it on the horizon. Is that Alzheimer's disease actually starts in your brain 30 to 50 years before you have any symptoms. So if you're going to be diagnosed with it at 70, odds are you had changes in your brain, noxious, negative changes in your brain in your 30s or 40s. Alzheimer's, depression is the #1 worldwide most expensive disorder. It is one of the greatest killers of our time. It affects 50 million Americans at some point in their lives. It's increased 400% since the 80s. And the statistic that just horrifies me is 23% of women between the ages of 20 and 60 are taking antidepressant medication. What most people don't know is that birth control pills deplete serotonin, the don't worry, be happy, feel good chemical in your brain. As your weight goes up, the actual physical size and function of your brain goes down. If you don't live the message of your company, if you don't live the message of your life, you are a bad messenger. Your brain and your finances are totally connected. It's what's between your ears that matter. Know it. I see what gravity does to your face, and I've seen what it's done to tens of thousands of brains, and I don't want it, and I have a choice. You have a choice if you're smart. You get your brain right, you feel right, you act better, life is better. That's the best. So we've actually developed online testing. We test your memory and mood and reaction time and attention and executive function and impulse control. So that would be the next way to do it. We have a wonderful community site called My Brain Fit Life. It said half of America is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? So why is that a problem? Why is high blood sugar a problem? Because it damages blood vessels. It makes your blood vessels brittle, and they're more likely to break, so you're more likely to be hypertensive, have heart disease, and have dementia. In fact, some measure of inflammation. Inflammation comes from the Latin word for fire, and when you have high C-reactive protein in your body, it's like you have a low-level fire destroying your organs. Vitamin D is just critical. It's actually really not a vitamin. It's a hormone. It's involved in your immune system. It's involved in depression. It's involved in dementia. It's involved in so many important things. And 2/3 of us, the same number of people who are overweight or obese, also have low vitamin D. And then the last one is ferritin, which is a measure of iron stores. Too little iron, you get anemic and really, really tired, but too much is associated with heart disease, and it's like your body is rusting when you have too much iron. And in Miriam's EHT product, it's not just EHT. And there's a reason for that. And when I went after our NFL group, we didn't do a single mechanism product. Your brain gets sick in multiple ways, so it will get better in multiple ways. In Miriam's product, boosts acetylcholine and EHT for tau protein and brain cell structure support. So as I've learned about EHT, I started taking it because I know with my NFL players, some of you may have heard of this thing called CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Dr. Oz actually came to Amen Clinics, New York, and we put a cap on his brain, on his head, and scanned him. We did a quantitative EEG on him. And then they were doing a whole show on good forms of energy and bad forms of energy. And so we studied smoking vaporized caffeine. And it's hysterical. So he's like puffing on this caffeine cigarette, and I'm scanning his brain. And it lowered the sleepy wave, so he's more alert. Buzzed, I think is the word he used. And his brain's more alert, but the judgment center in his brain went down. So, but there's something good in coffee, because there's a lot of studies showing the health benefits of coffee. I would just kill the caffeine, and then all of the bad things you put in it so that you can tolerate the nasty taste of coffee. Well, they've actually isolated EHT, which optimizes. Dr. Stock is going to talk about PP2A and how exciting that is. But it keeps your connection strong, supports memory, focus, energy, and your immune system. So it's very exciting. And the Miriam product actually has a number of other nutrients to work in this multiple mechanism approach that I talked about. I prevent it. You want to know the short answer? You prevent all the illnesses that are associated with it. And the fact is, virtually all of them. You smoking, stop that. It's not good for you. Prematurely ages your brain. It is the number one preventable cause of early death. Alcohol and drug abuse. Alcohol is not a health food. I don't know how else to say it. Oh, but Dr. Amen, I have to have 1 or 2 glasses of red wine a day. That's good for my heart. Yeah, but you have a smaller brain, according to studies from Johns Hopkins. And when it comes to your brain, size matters.